the Eagles' issues are behind them, or is it just nice to play the Raiders?
Look, it was what I wanted to see, right? Blow them out. They're a terrible team. Knicks Raiders are horrible.
They're horrible.
They stink.
31-0.
So they did what they were supposed to do, and everything looked good. The run game was okay. Jalen looked great. AJ got his touchdown. Devontae looked good. But, of course, it was the Raiders, so we're not sure. Let's see what they do. You don't have to beat the Commanders 31-0, but another impressive performance against them would be fine. The bottom line is Jalen Hurts is right. Like, this dude, nothing's going to faze him. I don't care if all his receivers are mouthing off saying he's not good. I mean, this dude got benched at Alabama, goes to Oklahoma, makes it work. Second-round pick. Nobody thinks he's a starter in this league. Gets to 2 Super Bowls. Outplays the best player in the league, Mahomes. Like, he is not going to be fazed by anything, and I think that's a positive for the Eagles. Now, I have not picked them to get to the Super Bowl this year. I didn't at the beginning of the season. But they are alive. Like, there's no world beater in the whole league. Forget just the AFC, the league. You can't tell me they can't play with the Rams. They beat the Rams already. And I get it, it was early in the season, but still, they beat the Rams. They can't play with Seattle. They can't play with San Francisco. Sure. I mean, Green Bay, now that they're diminished, like, they can beat anybody. Whether they do or not remains to be seen. But they are right there with anybody else in the league.
I'm not convinced yet that their issues are in the past, a thing of the past. I'm not convinced, and largely because they faced no resistance this past week. And they won't until we see them play against the Buffalo Bills, a team that's remaining on their schedule that has something to play for.
I'm interested.
I don't know where they're going to face resistance. They played the Commanders twice.
That's the game I'm supposed
in a couple weeks. So
in Buffalo.
Until I see them face resistance again, it's to be in question. And he may be right. I don't mind that he said it. I didn't care that he said it after this game.
Well, can I also say something? Yes, like Jalen, you are correct. No one has forgotten where you came from. But that is a knife that cuts in both directions. Everyone remembers what a great leader, what a great man you have been, what a great teammate. Mm-hmm. They also all remember why you had to leave Alabama and what happened. And that fact that the questions surrounding your ability to be a consistent, all-over-the-field passer has followed you at multiple levels of football, which is, when we say the Eagles' issues, that's one of the leading candidates this year is the tumult in the passing game. And so him invoking that, to me, was really interesting because, yes, and I remember being on this show saying when he didn't transfer from Alabama, how courageous is an awkward word to use, but how courageous I thought it was and how mature I thought it was and what a great teammate he was, all those things. But also, in that moment, everyone was like, yeah, good call in benching him, though, for Tua because you needed to win that game and because Tua was the better passer. And when he went in the second round, nobody batted an eye, despite his great year at Oklahoma, because people were like, yeah, questions about him as a passer. So the Eagles' issues to me are, I know they seem like it's about emotion and a funk and all of these things. That is window dressing to, if we don't have a consistent running game, our limitations as a passing team really become glaring.
Let's be real. How is Tua Tagovailoa's career unfolding? How many playoff wins does he have? How many signature big game performances? I respect Tua as a person and a player. This isn't an attack on him. But the comparison highlights a double standard. The narrative around Jalen Hurts has become illogical. People claim what's holding the Eagles back is Hurts. Yet in some of the biggest games of his career, he has had no consistent run game and still performed unbelievably, literally winning a Super Bowl. Throughout this entire season, he has operated with a bottom of the NFL run game, second in the league in percentage of runs going for negative yards, and receivers struggling to win one-on-ones. Despite that, for a long stretch, he had the Eagles as the #1 seed, and he was a top quarterback in touchdown-to-interception ratio, completion percentage, and passer rating. Then he hits a rough patch, which every quarterback does, and suddenly it's, see, Jalen Hurts isn't that good. What? Meanwhile, analysts who know football far better than any of us point out the real issues: predictable play calling and a limited scheme. When Hurts had competent coordinators like Kellen Moore or Shane Steichen, none of these problems were highlighted. People claim he can't throw over the middle, but that wasn't an issue in efficient, well-designed systems. There's a persistent, lazy critique that the Eagles have a bad passing game. That's based on volume, not efficiency. When they did pass, they were insanely efficient, top of the NFL in critical metrics. They didn't need to rely on a high-volume passing attack because other things were working. But when called upon, Hurts delivered with elite efficiency. Is Jalen Hurts as pure a passer as Matthew Stafford? No. But find me the list of quarterbacks who are. Is Tua a better pure passer? Then why does he have turnover issues? We just say things without context. To address the core question, no, I do not believe the Eagles' issues are completely behind them. I'm not ready to fully trust this offense or coordinator Kevin Patullo. However, there were significant positive changes in their recent approach that have nothing to do with the opponent's resistance. The play calling, game management, and game planning were fundamentally different. Analysts like Greg Olson noted it all game. For the first time in a while, they used Hurts' legs intelligently, called a creative game, and executed flawlessly. Even in their loss to the Chargers, film analysts noted there were schematic positives to build on. So now we have 2 games where the process looked better. That's meaningful. Contrast this with their 2023 late-season collapse, where they were losing to terrible teams and quarterbacks, and Hurts was statistically awful. He then bounced back with a genuinely flawless performance. That has to count for something regardless of opponent. The frustrating part is the hyper-focus on Hurts himself, while ignoring the coaching variable. When Baker Mayfield or Jared Goff struggle, the immediate analysis is about losing a coordinator. Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson. When Dan Campbell takes over play calling for the Lions, analysts praise the upgrade. But with Hurts, the conversation rarely pivots to Kevin Patullo or the scheme. It's always boiled down to, I don't trust Jalen Hurts. Every elite quarterback has had narratives attached to them. Patrick Mahomes was too reckless. Josh Allen is too reckless. Joe Burrow is injury-prone. Lamar Jackson couldn't pass. Yet, with Hurts, that past criticism seems to be the entire anchor of the debate, ignoring his proven track record in the biggest spots and the very clear systemic issues around him. It's a weird, persistent double standard. The issues might not be fully solved, but pinning them solely on number 1 is ignoring the game film and the facts. Those are my thoughts. What do you all think about the Philadelphia Eagles? Do you believe their issues are behind them? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. Whether you agree or disagree, let's discuss, debate, and have some fun. Please consider subscribing. We're building a great community here. A thumbs up on the video really helps with visibility. Thank you, and see you next time.